Hey guys, welcome back to the Tie Jam. My name is Kristen.
I'm Danielle.
And we are going to be working on a little bit of upper back and neck work today. I had a client requesting, Danielle was also requesting some of this work. I am always down for neck work, but I think that you can agree that we all tend to have a little bit of tightness and things that get stuck in our neck and shoulders just from everyday, if you're not computering, we're massaging, you're doing things, we're always just like looking down and doing things in front of us. So we want to work with you today to kind of help you give you some relief and open things back up. Give you a little bit of relief in the neck and maybe make you feel a little longer and lighter. Those are common things that I hear after my sessions, that people feel long and light.
They do.
Are you ready to feel long and light?
I am. I
Danielle?
feel like a ray of sunshine.
Oh, perfect. Danielle's going to be receiving first. So whoever is receiving first, let's go ahead and go into sideline position. Would you like to use this, or would you like to use a blanket folded?
The pillow.
Okay.
Please.
So when you are getting set up, make sure that your neck is supported. You can see here how Danielle's neck is neutral. If she is cranked up, I would want to get her on maybe a smaller pillow or a blanket that would allow some space, because once it's cranked up, you can see I don't have much space here to work, but when it's down, look at all that wonderful space. We want to make sure that our receiver feels nice and supported, because it's really hard to let go if you're not feeling that. If you feel like you're just dangling, it's hard to let go and release. So the way I'm going to start today, I'm going to warm up the area. I'm going to move my microphone so that I'm not jabbing Danielle, because the way I want to sit is right up against her. This way she feels nice and supported. She's not going to roll backwards. She knows I'm here and I got your back. So I'm going to go ahead and loop my arms underneath here, right? You just do a little easy. My hands are clasped. You can do them like this. I feel like I get a better pull and hold. I feel like I have more control over her when I have my hands clasped. And what I'm doing is I'm just using gravity. I'm just leaning back. If you catch yourself muscling, pulling, you feel your biceps, we don't want to do that. It's too much work. We just want to lean back. Let yourself be relaxed in this. Let gravity do the work. We're just hanging out. Danielle, do you like it more when I open up this way?
Oh, yes. Very much.
Or do you like it more this way?
Oh, the back.
Back way, all right. I like to ask. You never really know what does feel good to my receiver, but they know. So give them the option. I'm going in and out of stretching, pulling her open, coming back to neutral. You can see here what the muscles that we are affecting. As we're sitting here pulling her open, we are opening up that pec major and minor. We're not just affecting those areas though. Your receiver can tell you they're feeling it in their neck. They might feel it in their low back. There's many muscles that are being affected. So next I'm going to come in and I'm going to use my fingers and kindly do some circles. I'm really just going around the scapula. You could come in up here to like levator trap. I'm just being sweet. Danielle doesn't like a lot of pressure, so make sure that you are asking your receiver what kind of pressure they like. Days are different, areas of your body are different as far as what kind of pressure you do enjoy or want to receive. But we're just going around in some little circles, just warming the area up. Some people this might be too sharp, so if it is, you can go ahead and use like a supported finger. Boop, boop, trying to find the camera here. So you can see I'm just kind of coming inside. Danielle, do you have a preference? Do you like it better this way?
I like all of it.
She likes all of it. So we can do whatever we feel right. Oh, my hand's getting tired. Okay, cool. Go back to some little finger circles. If anything ever feels wrong to you as the giver, stop. Do it differently. We never want to do anything that hurts our body as the giver or as the receiver, right? So receivers, if you feel anything funky or anything doesn't feel right, please speak up and say, hey, maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower. I need a little less pressure.
Hey, I need a new arm.
Okay. Let's see if we can get you a new arm through this. We're going to do a 30-minute trade, so we'll see if I can give her a new feeling arm. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing her scapula onto my fingers. My fingers are just here. A lot of people are going to have so much tension through their rhomboids or this muscle between the scapula and the spine. that you might not be able to put your fingers to there. Danielle has space. I'm just kind of opening her up because I remember she likes it this way, opened. I'm just warming things up, kind of seeing how her body moves, where the restrictions are. I like to be aware to not stretch out her collar of her shirt because I hate that. I'm a weirdo. As soon as I feel like I've warmed everything up, I'm having a good time here. I'm just gonna lay her arm down. And I'm going to come up to the head of Danielle. I have my right knee, or I guess I would say my head knee because it's closer to her head, and my foot knee. I like to keep the head knee just behind her head, but above her, so that way when I'm coming in to work her traps, that I am coming down into the body this direction. We are not going down into her body, and we don't want to do anything to affect the ability to breathe or be awake. Also, I want to check in. Danielle, would you like me to bolster your hip?
I'm okay for right now, but thanks.
Your receiver might need their hip bolstered, so just check in and see if they need like a pillow or a folded blanket underneath their top leg. So what I'm doing with my left arm is I am lengthening. I'm lengthening all these muscles here. So as I lengthen, I come in gently with my knee down and into her body this direction.
Gently.
Oh, am I not being gently? My bad. So this is very, as we're doing it, we feel like, man, am I doing this right? I'm just hanging out. Yes, you probably are. This work is not crazy difficult. It just comes with patience, being aware of your receiver underneath you, listening, moving slowly. As the receiver, this could be quite intense.
It is.
And so just kind of hang out. Don't feel like you have to keep moving. Here you can see the trapezius. I am definitely affecting the trapezius right now, which throughout the day, our shoulders tend to get up towards our ears. Right now, we are reversing that. Also, our levator is getting affected here. If you're one of those people that works at a computer desk and you always have your arms up on the computer desk, or you're a poker player, you will most definitely have some shortness in these muscles. And we are gonna get them relaxed and lengthened for you. So we were on the anatomy as I moved up. I was first in the spot right here in Danielle's neck. And then I don't know, I just kind of moved up a little bit. You can start to learn how to feel tension. It's more dense tissue. You can talk to your receiver. Definitely make sure you're watching the face of your receiver. They have these things called ibrometers, and they will tell you everything. I can see that her breathing, so I know that we are probably close to her edge. Danielle?
You are close to my edge.
I thought so.
I like the rotating that you're doing.
Thank you for bringing attention to that. So you can ask your receiver, do you like it if I do a little bit of movement? My knee is staying in its place, it's just hanging out. And my hand here is just giving a little bit of movement in the shoulder. And what that feels like, it should feel like we're kind of rocking the body open. I'm gonna come out slowly and come back in one more spot. We want to be behind the SCM. We don't want to be going into her throat. Make sure you're doing that. There's an SCM so you guys can see that visually. In the past, I've always tried to show a little bit too much, and I feel like with me rushing through it, though it's great that you guys get to see a bunch more stuff, it also doesn't give you the idea of how the pace of the work is. I would spend some more time here, but I've spent a good time and I want to move on into her neck. So once again, we want to stay behind the SCM, which is this muscle right here in the neck. There's a bunch of delicate things. I mean, imagine if you have anyone pressing in front of that area, you will feel like you're being choked. And there's a lot of delicate stuff there that we want to avoid. So I'm gonna come up to Danielle, and you can sit however feels best for you. I have some like QL, psoas issues. So for me, it feels good to sit like this. I kind of call it side saddle, but I don't know if I'm making that up or what it is, but that's what I call it. So I'm coming in with this part of my elbow here, the flat part, not the point. This is only upon request or once you've gone, general to specific, but right now we are using this flat part. We're gonna come back here behind her SCM. And I always like to move hair out of the way. Nobody likes to have their hair pulled while they're getting a massage. Some people like it. I mean, when we get to the scalp and do that kind of thing, but typically people are like, you're pulling. You want less? There you go. I'm just resting here. I'm not pushing down into her neck. I'm leaning over and letting gravity work. Listening to my receiver. She requested a little less, so I just kind of backed off a little bit. I unstacked slightly to give her the pressure that she felt comfortable with. We meet our receivers where they are, and we don't want to go past that edge. The edge is a positive thing. It's great to go to the edge, but we never want to go past. If the body is holding, if the client or the receiver is holding their breath, the body will have a hard time releasing and letting go. So make sure you encourage breath. Make sure receivers, you're breathing. If anything's too much, you're having trouble breathing, let your giver know, and givers, let's pay attention to that, okay? So when we are doing this work, you can work any spots in the neck here that feel good to your receiver. So as I come back in and say, Danielle, do you like it a little more towards your shoulder? Perfect. Is it good there? Would you like a little more back or? Perfect. Tell me when. Perfect. I have the scalenes now? Is it too much? Okay. So I know we showed the anatomy a minute ago with the different muscles in the neck. There are many muscles in the neck here. You can see that we are affecting. These boogers can cause headaches and just general tightness and make you feel uncomfortable if they haven't been worked or released in a while. I'm going to go ahead and come out. I feel as if I'm only really showing you 4 moves today, right? Warming up, pulling it open. I kind of call that 1. Coming with my knee, coming with my elbow around here, and then I'm going to face down her body. And I'm going to give her some pressure in this way with my elbow. Once again, I would stay a little bit longer, so I don't feel like I'm overpacking this to where you're not understanding the pace, but please feel free to shoot us any questions. Once again, I'm lengthening these muscles of her neck and shoulder as I come in slowly and gently lowering my elbow into the shoulder junction here. How is this? Do you want it more towards the back?
Yes.
Is that pressure good there? And slowly come out. Okay, one more time. How is it, Danielle? I'm just going to hang out. Danielle has a lot of tension here in this area. And we're just going to sit here and basically melt the muscle. As we're doing this work, we are stimulating their nervous system and hopefully getting some nice changes, and getting some relaxation through this area for Danielle. And slowly come out. I'm going to just give a little pull to her arm. How does that feel, Danielle?
I like that.
All right, let's go ahead and flip to the other side and make sure we get you balanced out. I swear 15 minutes just flies by. I'm going to bring this, you want a little hip? So we have these nice yoga bolsters, but that's not even necessary. You could use a towel, you could use a blanket and just roll it up and make sure that they just feel supported. That's the important thing. We want our receivers to feel good and comfortable as they're receiving work. So when I do come up here, you'll see how the pillow this time it's in my way, right? So I'll just be like, hey, Danielle, you mind picking your head up? And I just move the pillow forward. That way I can bring my body right up against her again. Nice and secure, except when I'm bobbling you around.
Yeah, I feel secure.
Good. So once again, we're going to loop our arm under. This is my handle. I'm going to go ahead and clasp my hams. Watch out. So I'm just going to lean back.
Remember, I have sunburn.
Oh, summer. It's only on this side?
Yeah. See?
So what do you want me to do? Do you want me to just have my hands more over this way?
You guys do it more on the shoulder.
Okay.
Thanks.
How's that feel there?
That feels a lot better. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, I was gripping the sunburn.
That's okay.
How many days old is it?
I don't know. Not long enough.
Does that hurt leaning backwards?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Do you prefer this direction?
Yeah. It's like 2 days old.
You haven't put any aloe or anything on it?
Oh my god, everything.
Is it also sunburned down your back here?
Nope.
Okay, cool. So it's just here on the top.
Just on my dumb neck. Just on the part that was inside.
So once again, we're going to do a little bit of circles here. I'm going to warm up the area. Oh, good. I've seen some people do this work where they use their knee to give pressure. I've never felt the need to do that. Also, I don't like crunching my abdomen, so I don't do that. But if you feel like that's good for you, feel free. We've taught classes where students just do that. Now, whatever feels good for you, that's the priority. If you're giving your receiver good work that they're enjoying, your body feels good, and you enjoy the way that feels while you're doing the work, then do it that way. There's no wrong way except if you're causing any pain to either giver or receiver. So because Danielle has the sunburn on her traps, basically, the top of her shoulder, I am not going to go explore up there with any circles, and I don't know, unless you want that. I figure you won't.
Whoa.
How are you going to feel about me putting a knee there?
Straight up top.
Okay. So I am still coming through this area. It's just the area between the scapula, or the shoulder blade here, and the spine. We call these area the rhomboids.
It feels amazing.
It's fabulous.
They're so tiny, but such jerks.
I'm going to bring her scapula onto my fingers, opening it up, lengthening that levator, pulling open those pecs. You can see here, this is my handle here. Pulling her on. So I'm going to slide out, put her hand on her hip. I like the arm being here because that gives me a good handle to hold onto as I'm working her shoulder. Let me see. Oh, you have your bra strap there.
Yeah.
So do be aware of your receiver's bra straps. We don't ever want to push metal into anyone.
Where's my bra strap metal?
I mean, because they have the clips where you're like adjusting.
Okay.
Of course, there's cloth. So you don't want it coming here.
Why are you gonna hurt?
All right, let's just act like I'm putting my arm here or my knee here because this is what we do. But we're not going to do it for Danielle.
It feels so good. She's amazing. I actually do like the rocking.
Well, I'm going to rock her. You guys go ahead and feel free to just sink your knee into the traps. We are going, once again, into the body this direction, directly into the sunburn.
I was like, just gonna keep poking it, huh?
I'm sorry.
Look, it's right there, guys.
I don't know if we've seen it yet, but it's right here.
Should poke it some more. It feels so good.
Such a faker. I'm just gonna jostle this woman because I want you guys to be able to go through this step with your receiver and do it. I just, you know.
Hey, they might have sunburns too.
For all of you doing this that have sunburns, feel free to just hover. Because our receivers are super responsible.
I am not in charge of the sun, okay?
How about the sunscreen, ma'am?
Dude, I was underground like all day.
How is that even possible?
Because I am really white.
All right, so we are going to come down. Is this going to be okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So here we are. I'm sorry that I moved a little faster on the side. I just hovering is strange. So I am now going to come in once again with this flat part of my elbow. I'm going to come directly into this little area here. And I'm using my right hand to lengthen. And you can try it out. Try doing it without length and try doing it with length. It feels better while it's lengthened. It's maybe not quite as intense as if you're using your knee into the traps and you stop lengthening. That can be pretty intense. Danielle, do you want it to be a little more towards the back?
No,
Okay. Pressure's good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Once again, I sit kind of, I guess, I don't know, what do y'all call it? What do you call this, Robert? Side saddle? What do y'all call it?
I think I would call it.
I don't know why I must name this side saddling, but
That's what I would call it. That's how I say
you heard it here. Oh, is that trademarked?
Mm-hmm.
Other side tighter than this side? Is it better pressure? Let gravity do the work, guys. Just kind of hang out. I'm going to slowly come out. I'm going to go ahead and flip the opposite direction. So I'm going to show you a different way you could do this, right? So we could totally sit up on our knees like this. If this feels good to you, you can do this. I'm going to come down and just be more aware because you're stacked so much higher above your receiver. So I'm going to go ahead and just tilt her head down a little bit. And so there's a lot of redness here, but it's not bothering you? Okay.
That's where you were touching.
So we have her SCM here. We're going to go ahead and make sure we are behind that into these posterior neck muscles. And once again, going in with that flat part of your elbow, avoiding this point because that's not nice. We can sharpen it if while we're working the client is prepared and ready for that, but we do not go specific to general. We go general to specific. Woo! I could hear Danielle's moans beginning, so I realized I was letting gravity do too much work. I needed to kind of back off for my friend. You like a little more towards the back?
Mm-hmm.
She said right there, right there. So I'm going to stop and just hang out. Too much. Better there? I think that sitting this way is probably not good for me working on Danielle because she doesn't like a lot of pressure, and it's far too easy to give pressure while I'm sitting up on my feet like this. So in the future, I probably would never work on her this way, but I just wanted to show you that there are many options. But I mean, I imagine for some people, sitting on your feet probably isn't that comfortable. It took me a little while for my feet to open up and me to be able to sit comfortably on my feet as I do all the time with doing ties. So You get there. You just meet yourself where you're at as well. This work, when you're receiving it, can be so like intense, so much sensation. But once we finally let off the compression, it feels so good. So I have to remind myself sometimes while I'm receiving this work, just let it be, just keep breathing, and I'm gonna feel much better once we're done. This work is some of the only work that helps me personally with my neck issues post-car accident. I've had a couple of them back to back, that 15 and 16, that still bother me, and this is the only work that helps unlock those issues. So if you have any clients that have been in car accidents, they might love it if they're anything like me. So my elbow is naturally just kind of sliding, I realize. You like it?
I do, but it's not like it wants to give me pressure.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It feels good now.
Okay, good.
You're definitely right about the fitting
Yeah, it's too much.
for me.
Oh yeah. It's good to know, though. It's good for me to sometimes, I mean, just to point those things out so you guys at home can understand the different positions. Just think about it. If you stack your body over your receiver more, it will be more pressure. Gravity will do its job. I'm going to back off and give her a little length through her arm. I'm just kind of, not doing that because I know she probably is going to be like, what the heck, Kristen?
I don't think I can either.
I know. So there's many things you can do when your receiver is here. You know, as you guys are doing this at home, feel free to explore and do some other things, whatever feels good and natural. But that's about what we're going to show you today. That was a good 15-minute each way, or each side trade. So now we are going to take a quick break. If you guys need to use restroom, wash your hands, whatever you need to do that now, blow your nose. And then let's get back on the mat. We'll switch up partners. And Danielle's going to do things a little bit differently. She and I are a little bit different. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what she does. We always kind of wing it. So, you know, stay tuned. Let's see what's next. Woohoo.
Hey guys, it's Danielle, me. It's my turn. I'm going to work on Kristen. If you're just tuning in, I'm going to try some different things, but feel free to also work on your receiver how Kristen did. So first, Kristen, I'm going to have you start on your right side. Does that sound good?
Yes.
I know, it takes me a second too, right?
I was like, I'm there.
I know,
Let me
so
just
close.
flop on down.
So there's a lot of different things that you can do. I'm a big fan of putting a pillow or some sort of support underneath the head and underneath the hips. Kristen likes the blanket. I am unsure why. Pillows are perfect, but we're not going to argue with it. Sure, neck injury. Yeah, sure. Anyway, so she's going to use this beautiful blanket that is not as comfortable as the pillow, but we're not going to say anything more about it. And then I love this bolster. If you'll see, you straighten out the bottom leg and you put the top leg over. Sometimes they like to bring it up, bring it over, whatever, hug. It just feels good supporting those hips. So what I like to do is first come up next to my receiver, basically hip to hip, butt to butt, just scooch on in, let her know that I am here, that she is fully supported. And then I'm going to take my hands, I'm going to come in underneath this arm, say hi. My hands are going to say hi together, and they're going to grasp the shoulder cap. So right in this area. A lot of people like to come up on the neck, totally fine. Some people closer down on the shoulder, totally fine, just whatever feels good. I have a tendency to make sure that I'm grabbing the shirt, not grabbing the collar, because nobody likes a stretched out collar. Also be mindful of any bra straps or any supportive undergarments. So again, going to come over here, grab right here onto the shoulder cap, and I'm just going to lean back, and you'll see how her head lifts and we get that beautiful extension through the neck. I'm going to lean back. I'm not pulling her, okay? My arms aren't that strong, but my body is. So I'm going to grab and I'm going to lean. How does that feel, Kristen? So as you can see, I'm sitting kind of like weird side saddle. I'm unsure. This feels good for me. I move my legs around a lot, whatever works for you. I'm going to lean. And then I also like to take and grab and pull back onto my knee. And you'll see we're getting more extension and movement through that neck. And it eventually looks like a giant kind of circle is the way I work. Just like this. So once we've had a chance to really open up that neck, I like to come in with a flat palm and just move the shoulder around. It's a little more jostly, but I like to get that big movement through that shoulder girdle because usually they're really tight, and the scapula, the shoulder blade, loves to get stuck onto these ribs back here. And so we're just going to be like, hey, get up. You can also take your fingers or your knuckles and go all around the outside of that shoulder blade.
That's nice.
Just right along that. It's called the vertebral border of the scapula, or we just say shoulder blade, part that's closest to your spine, whatever works. Now you'll probably feel on your receiver this like denser tissue, what a lot of people call knots, and that's fine if you just want to like hang out there, do little circles. As you can see, I've got my arm braced against my leg, so I'm not using my arm strength. I'm using my leg. I'm hooked in. Everything's kind of stacked. I'm just leaning, just pushing with my leg to get a little bit extra pressure because I know that Kristen likes that. How's that feel, hun?
Muy bien.
Good. Move all around. Again, being mindful of any supportive garments underneath. Ooh, right in there. And I'm using my top hand or my inside hand to support the shoulder as we go around. Up and around. And when we get closer to the top, you're going to start feeling traps or trapezius. This guy's always angry, always causing problems. Like to grab and pull back a little bit. I'm a big fan of grabbing and pulling. You'll see she gets all that movement in there. As I pull her back like this, a lot of receivers will also feel a stretch in their pecs. As you can see, we're creating a lot of length through their pecs. You can take your inside hand and shear down a little bit if that feels comfortable to you and your receiver. To see how her whole arm is moving? It's because I'm engaging pecs, pec major and pec minor. There you go, pec minor and pec major on the screen. You can see how big they are. Well, pec major is big. Pec minor is kind of small, but either way, he needs love. And they're real strong. They pull the shoulder forward, which stretches all these back muscles forward, and they don't want to be forward. They want to be back here because, you know, they're back muscles. That's where they should hang out, right? So do our stretch, do our movements just like that. So one of the things that I like to do then is I like to come in, kind of do hip to butt or hip to glutes, grab her arm and then do some traction. I like to support her lobe or her back as well, just so she knows that I'm here. I'm not a ghost grabbing on her. Big deep breath, Kristen. And I grab and I lean, just like that. Ooh, I feel her tensing up, tightening, and then she'll relax into it. Big deep, oh, there you go. Getting some length. I'm just leaning, hanging back. Some receivers, I can lay all the way down. Some receivers, I'm like, hey, this is about it. Kristen, we're at about here. Ooh, how's that feel?
Good.
Good. So once I've got that shoulder girdle all nice and loosened up, you know, we've done the pecs, done back here on this shoulder, it's all floppy-doppy, right? Then I like to come in more with my soft elbow. You can definitely come in with your knee. I don't feel like doing that today. I'm going to show you an alternative that works well for me. So now your receivers sometimes wear necklaces, Kristen. And
Always wears necklaces.
Yeah, they always wear necklaces for some reason, especially when they know they're getting neck work. It's like she got a sunburn on her neck too. So we're going to have to work around that. Make sure that you work around that with your receiver. You know, I'm just joking with you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I like to do is, again, take the soft part of our forearm of our elbow right here, and I'm going to press it in here. You can see the traps. SCM is right here. You can see the top of traps. It's like right in this area. We're going to press in and then pull back with the flat, soft part of our forearm or elbow. So again, press in and pull back. If we go forward, there's muscles there and they do need work. This isn't really the best area to do this with your elbow because, you know, is anybody like a blood clot? Would you like one?
No, I'm good.
No? Okay. So no blood clots today. So again, we're going to come in, press, and then pull back. So I'm going to take soft part of my elbow, hook in, and pull back. How does that feel?
Good.
So the motion that I'm doing is down and towards me, and then to really get some pressure, I like to hook into my arm and then lean back. How does that feel?
Good.
Would you like more or less pressure?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So for this,
Yeah.
I know, right?
Sorry.
Some pressure. So as you can see here on the screen, you'll see those anterior and front and side muscles, as well as the trapezius. We're working on traps attachment right now, and I'm just hanging out. So as you can see, I am on traps here, right in this area, kind of at the base of the skull, but it's going to go all the way up. I'm going to have her take a big deep breath in. And then I'm going to press in even more. And as you can see, I moved. I'm at your edge, cool.
Yeah.
As you see, I moved my leg out of the way so I get a little bit more downward pressure. And then I'm just going to hang out here. This is what feels comfortable to me. And this is what I like to do. Now this is where you also want to check in with your receivers, because as you can see, there are a lot of muscles going on here. And when there's a lot of muscles going on, they have a tendency to get very angry very quickly. So we want to take our time, do lots of breathing, checking in, seeing how our receiver is doing, seeing if they'd like more or less pressure. If we went back, would you like it to go back?
Sure.
Okay. We can go up towards the head, and you'll see her head move very slightly. Do you like that?
I do.
So she likes that. That's where we're getting a little bit of those side occipitals, those tiny little muscles at the base of the skull that usually cause migraines. Yep, they're right there on the screen. And we're right on the edge of some of those guys where they like to attach. And I'm going to pull back just a little bit more to hook into them just a little bit more with a nice sharp point of my elbow. How does that feel?
Intense.
Good. Big deep breaths. Good job. Okay, big deep breath in. All right, so now I'm going to come out very slowly. Whenever you're dealing with necks or really holding any intense sort of pressure, you want to come out slowly. It can be very jarring to the nervous system to have a lot of pressure and then just bounce out. And the body's like, oh no, what do we do? It's like, no, fam, we're okay. So this is where Kristen and I differ a little bit. I like to use my hands a little bit more on this neck area. So I'm going to show you some of that. So what I like to do is, again, come in, hug this arm. This makes her feel safe and supported. I also usually give my clients a blanket because they like to sleep, but we're not going to.
They like to sleep.
They do like to sleep while I do this. So they're very weird.
Yeah,
But I
they
love
take my
them.
necklace
I
off
love you
pretty
guys.
good.
No, I can work around it because, you know, our receivers will, you know, have sunburns or wear necklaces and it's just stuff you work around. So not a big deal. So with this, you can get a little bit of lotion or a little bit of Glide, something like that. But usually the oils, the skin's natural oil, will work out fine and give you the Glide that you need. Just be very conservative with it, because if you go to do anything else and your hands are all oily or greasy, stuff's just going to start sliding around. We don't want to do things and lose our receiver somewhere. So I like to come in. And again, I personally like to shorten the neck at first, hook in right here to the top of SCM. So once I've hooked in, I like to grab the shoulder and then pull back. And this is a pin and stretch. How does that feel? And then I'm slowly sliding my thumb up to her occiput and then back to these suboccipitals. This is how I like to do it. Some people have very dense necks. That's just how they're made. That's how they like to work out. It's all great. In that case, for a very dense neck, I would most definitely use a knee or an elbow, not my delicate little fingers here. So while I'm hooked in, I like to move the shoulder around to get more motion throughout these muscles as I've pinned and stretched them. How does that feel?
Intense.
It is very intense. And it should be, because I'm using a very pointed tool, which is my thumb. I use this for eating and I guess hitchhiking, which is probably dangerous, so don't hitchhike. But it's also really great for stabbing in the neck gently and therapeutically, like this. So I've hooked in and I'm going to pull back. See the movement in her arm? And as you can see, I'm also moving my body around. I do this because if I'm just sitting here hunched over neck stuff, I'm going to turn into a gremlin. I don't want to be a gremlin. Be long and lean and try to be taller than the 5'6" that I am. So again, we're a little bit on the top of this traps right here as I move around. Levator scapula, yeah, that dude, he likes to attach on the top of your scapula all the way to the base of your skull. And he's a jerk. So this one is really great for him. How does that feel? So go in and do this. Sometimes you can find more dense areas along the spine or the back of the neck. And in that case, you're like, oh man, I really want to hang out there. I don't have the power and I don't want to break my thumbs or anything like that. You can do a supported thumb like this. You're like, oh, found that nice thing. And then I'm not going to use my arm muscles. I got this nice leg here. Boom. How does that feel on? See, Kristen likes it. She likes a lot of pressure. How's that feel? Good.
It's because my neck is a rock.
It is a rock. It is. You need it. You definitely. I know. I felt that too. So now we're back here into more of the semispinalis, capitis, suboccipitals, semispinalis, capitis. Man, a lot of these are hard. These are very tight on her. And this is, in this instance, you would just hold for your receiver. Let their body allow you to come in. I'm not going to force my way in, thank you, because that's going to cause more pain. Another really cool thing is you can just do some nice neck rubs. Scalp, everybody loves scalp. It's a really great area to do it. So once I've done that and really worked this neck out, come in, pulled back, I like to also, again, just end with this arm mobilization, shoulder mobilization, and pulling her onto me. How did that feel?
So good.
Okay, awesome. So now I'm going to have Kristen roll onto her left side. And she was like, she doesn't need that bolster anymore. She's going to use more blankets, which is definitely an option.
More blankets, please.
It's definitely an option.
Some ask for more cowbell. I ask for more blankets.
More blankets. I am a bougie person and am still in shock that she's not using the pillow or the fancy bolster.
It's only because the bolster is too big. My hip is bothering me.
So all I'm hearing is excuses. And well, it's okay.
This isn't big enough.
Oh, it's not big enough, is it? So you might have a fussy receiver like,
like
Kristen, or like me who had the sunburn, but it's all good. We work with our receivers where they're at. So again, I like to come in booty to booty so she knows that I'm here. She knows she's supported. And I'm just like, hey, right? So just hanging out there. I'm gonna come in and again, clasp my hams right on, I did say hams like you too. What's going on?
I don't know what happened.
I know, I said
Second time
hams,
too.
right? Anyway, my hands, my phalanges, they're gonna come in and I'm gonna grab and again, just lean back and do these nice big circles. And I can feel the tension that she has in the front of her shoulder, in her pecs, because when I go like this, it does not want to move. It's like, no, because she's got very strong arms and very strong muscles, and they are not having any of this.
I drove 6 hours and 24 hours, so.
She drove 6 hours and 24 hours. I don't know what the math that is.
I just drove to Dallas and back, and so.
Oh, so
arms
she
are
made
like
it.
this.
Oh yeah, see exactly. So you're driving, sitting, playing on your phone all the time. Not you, but people in general.
Yeah. No worries.
So once I've had a chance to really open this up, again, to come in with my palm, just move the shoulder around, move that scapula, that shoulder blade around. Be mindful of any supportive undergarments. Taking my fingers or knuckles or thumb, whatever I want to, and just working right in along that shoulder blade line. Ooh, I feel some tension right there. Again, I'm not going to use my fingers. I use these to eat and apparently hitchhike. So I'm going to press in like this and then use my leg to push in. Use my thumb because that feels good for me. Can use my knuckles. Ooh. But either way, this is money because these rhomboids, they're like a third of the size of your pecs, but they're what helps pull your shoulders back. And every day we're using our pecs to be on our phone, to drive into Dallas. A lot of bodybuilders love to work that anterior, that front chain, get a big swole pecs and those beautiful biceps. But they're all hunched over because they haven't worked on their posterior chain. We gotta bring those shoulders back, chest out, shoulders down, just like that. So that's what we wanna work on with this. How's that feeling? Good. Just going around here. Now, if your receivers, again, you're like, oh man, I feel something, hang out, it's okay. You can pull their shoulder onto your fingers. I'm gonna brace my thumb on my leg and pull her on because that's what feels good for me. Not everybody's like that. Some people, they need to curl their fingers. Some people don't like to do this at all. It's totally okay. Then I'm gonna come in again with my forearm and we're gonna work pecs. You can see I switched from doing like this to this because this is gonna give me more over movement and that's what works well for me. So I'm gonna come in with my forearm into pecs and just move it around. Using the heel of my hand, the palm of my hand, whatever you and your receiver are comfortable with. How does that feel? We're gonna get all up into Pec Minor, which is like kinda in the, almost in the armpit. It's a real tiny one. And we're gonna get a nice big Pec Major, moving him around. How's that feel? Did I poke you enough?
Good.
So I like to do that. Ooh, pull you out like this. Where are we at? Ooh, yeah. Sorry about that. So I went real hard.
Yeah, do it quickly.
I went real quick, real hard on side pecs and intercostals, which are your rib meat. Didn't warm her up. That's why she kicked.
That's why my leg was flapping
Yeah,
around
that's
like a
why.
little fish.
That's why she was flapping around. Fun fact: rib meat is really painful, so be very mindful of it. You got to work up to it. Maybe we should do a thing about intercostals later.
Oh, we definitely should.
Oh man, you guys are love and hate it. It's awesome. So anyway, so we're working on pecs. Got them nice and softened up. Again, whatever your receiver needs. Gonna come in, do my big circles again, because that's what feels good. And then I like to do traction this way, so I'm gonna come in. We're gonna clasp hands because we're best friends. Besties. Got her supported here with my inside leg. And big deep breath in And I'm just gonna lean back. Ooh, I feel she does not want to let go. It's okay, she's got strong muscles. We're just gonna hang out for just a moment. Okay, I'm gonna go and come back up. Big deep breath in. And out. Oh. A little bit more movement there. And this is just how I like to do the traction, and it pulls on levator scapula, it pulls on traps, which are always very, very tight. It's always when you feel your shoulder blades up to your ears, we're gonna pull those down. So once we've done that, I'm gonna come in, and again, with the soft part of my forearm, right before the elbow, elbow is very pointy, so it's this area right here. I'm gonna bring it in,
Dang, girl.
right on this what?
Stretching the heck out of my collar, girl.
No, I'm moving it out of the way. Oh, okay.
My bad.
I'm sorry, gently move.
With love.
With love for Green Day.
Yeah.
In this vintage t-shirt.
Vintage from Target.
What's as old as new.
I know.
Is gently move it out of the way because this.
Because I'm sensitive.
Because she's sensitive. And we're going to use that part of our arm. Again, I'm going to move up just a little bit more. I'm going to hook in. And again, keeping in mind, not going to the front of the neck. We're going to hook in and then pull back. It's safer that way, easier for everybody. And get some of that upper traps, some of that levator. How does that feel?
Good.
Would you like more or less pressure?
Good.
Okay, so she's good here. We're going to hang out here. And depending on how your receiver is, you know, again, you might have super, super dense tissue, so you just got to hang out and be cool. And this is where we're at. If it's super dense, you can go in with your knee. You can go in with your shin. You can go in with your elbow like I am. It's whatever works out well for you and your receiver. So I'm going to shear up just a little bit right there to get a little bit more of that levator attachment and just a hint of those suboccipitals. How does that feel? So, and the pressure that I'm doing is I'm doing downward pressure and then shearing up this way and then shearing a little bit towards the back. So it's 3 different planes of movement, existence, I'm unsure, but that's what we're doing. That's kind of how it feels to her, but they're very, very subtle movements because this area is very small and we want to go very slow. How's that feel? Yeah. If I wanted more pressure, which I'm going to be very gentle because I'm going to back up just a little bit, because you can see the neck muscles, there's a lot of them. They get angry easily. But when I want to, I'm going to press in right there. But say I found an area that needed just a lot more of attention for whatever reason. For Kristen, because I know I'm already super deep, I'm going to come out just a little bit. And then if I wanted to, I can bend my arm and now use the pointy side of my elbow and really get into those subocs and that levator attachment. I'm doing very, very light pressure. Kristen, how does that feel?
She does not feel light, but it feels good.
She says it does not feel light, but it feels good, and that's true because I'm using a very sharp tool. We're doing broad. See how I leaned forward? It's a little easier. I'm going to lean back and use my elbow. Ooh, way sharper. So again, just be mindful of where your receiver is at, what they can and cannot handle. How's that? Okay. So once you feel that you've softened this area up a lot, I like to move back down, come back in, hug the shoulder, being very gentle of the vintage t-shirt collar.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do some neck work. And like I said, I like to use my hands for this and my thumb. I like to bring the shoulder up closer to the ear, finding some of that dense tissue that I was feeling earlier, which I feel more in this area for Kristen.
Yep.
So I'm going to move this out of the way because I can't see. You're going to wear a lower shirt next time. Right in that area for Kristen. I'm going to come in, hook in with my thumb. Big deep breath in. Oh, she feels it. And then I'm going to slowly pull back, just like that. So this is another pin and stretch right here on those neck muscles. Do you mind tilting your head forward just a bit so they can see? Thank you. So as you can see, ooh, yeah, I'm right there. Right along there. Okay, go ahead and relax again. And this is just where I'm going to hang out. Right here on, pretty sure this is levator and traps.
Definitely feels like it.
Yeah. And just press in, and then I like to move the shoulder around to get some movement in there Oh, it's so tight. She's so tight right there. We should have done this side first, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Would have been a half an hour of just right neck.
I know.
But you can follow this line, levator really, from the scapula, from the shoulder blade, all the way up to here, and then that brings you into just some really great scalp work. You like to press in and move around, or you like to do the scritches, like you're just scritching a cat. Well, you like dogs, like you're scritching a dog. I like cats. Cats are better. And then what?
I said I like the first one.
Oh, you like the deep one?
Oh, it's so deep.
So Kristen likes it when you
night.
when you press in and move all that
Slowly.
fascia around. Kristen's not a fan of the scritches.
I mean,
Some people love
messes up my day
scritches.
here.
It's so beautiful.
I know.
I can't
I'm
mess
a
it up.
diva.
You are a diva.
Like, don't mess up my collar. Don't mess up my hair.
Don't mess up my messy
but
ponytail.
relax my body.
Exactly, just like every other client. So I also like to come in, so the suboccipitals are right in this area, right at the base of the hairline. I like to come in and press, just gently, and move that shoulder around again. I'm a big fan of breathing with my receiver. Helps me stay in tune with what they're going through. Helps me pace a lot better. We've gone really fast. And we've done this because we're showing you some cool stuff. But in reality, this takes a long time. It takes a long time to get these muscles to relax because it took a long time for those muscles to get this messed up. So we have to meet our receivers where they're at. We don't want to muscle them through it because that can just cause more pain. And it's more work for us, and that's what we don't want. So just hanging out, moving stuff around. What time we have, babe?
It's 8.
Cool.
I should have a couple more minutes because I need to finish.
Oh, I know. She just wants a couple more minutes.
I
Something about
don't
me.
feel like you have to just stop because really.
Yeah. Yeah, something about like starting late, not the neck work that she wants. But again, I'm just moving my thumb up and down these muscles. Now, if your thumb is hurting, because, you know, dude, that hurts. These are thumbs. We use these to eat and hitchhike. And I'm sure other things, gaming probably. I don't know what people use thumbs for. If that's too much, then we can come in, flatten our thumb. We can do a supported thumb. Or again, we can use our elbows. Like we don't want to hurt ourselves while we're working on our receivers, while we're working on our friends, while we're working on our clients. So I am comfortable using my thumbs like this, but not all of y'all are, and that's okay. So that's when, if I'm like, oh snap, super, super dense, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna use my sweet, sweet pointy elbow. It's not gonna take very much pressure or work at all, but it does take concentration because, you know, don't wanna hurt her or anything like that. I know, right? It's because I love you.
She cares.
Yeah, well, and she works on me, and then she'd be like, oops, as she like stabs me.
Yeah.
So it was an accident. We have so many accidents.
What goes around comes around the Thai gym.
I know, right? I'm scared. Guys, I'm scared. I need an adult. So just slowly pressing in. I'm right here on her suboccipitals. Oh, yeah. Felt levator move. So, and that'll happen. For you as the receiver or as the giver, don't freak out, because sometimes that'll cause them to freak out. Just breathe. It happens. Muscles roll around all the time as they release. So then we're just going to back up, let it reset, and push back in. And these are very gentle movements, so you guys can't even see it. I'm going like this, and then like this. Very, very gentle. So it's like this, and then this. It's kind of hard to see, but that's because necks are gentle and very small. So I'm going to have her take a big, deep breath in. And I'm going to come out on that out breath because I was in there pretty deep. And I'm going to come in, move the shoulder around, again mindful of our very vintage tea collar. And just put everything back together. How are you feeling?
Well, we could do this all night. Yeah,
We could do this all night, and then that would start costing money at that point. So anyway, I'm done. How about you, Ish?
I mean, as I said, it doesn't have to be over.
It doesn't have to be over.
But it is.
But the jam is. So anyway, guys, that was quick upper neck, little bit of upper back, some pecs. Dude, pecs always need love. And I have a feeling we're going to do intercostal rib meet next time, unless, you know, we get a super crazy request. Give us crazy requests.
Give us requests.
We love requests.
Yeah.
Tell me something weird. What's bothering you, and we will show you how to work on it. Otherwise, we'll come up
We'll
with
keep doing whatever
Yeah.
feels good on us.
kind of, yeah,
And
like
just be like, hey, enjoy it.
exactly. Except for intercostals, that's going to hurt, and she's going to love it.
It hurts, but in the end, you'll feel better because we're
Yeah.
unwinding some things that we've built up, some adhesions. So
Definitely. But for now, you guys have a really great intro to neck work. You can work on your partners and your friends and clients if you have them. And again, save your hands, be mindful. Elbows, knees are great. You've got whole lots of tools just outside your fingers. So take care of these guys, because again, we use these to eat and play video games, and I should probably stop saying hitchhiking.
So yeah, thanks so much for coming today, guys. Can't wait to see you again. We generally do it first and third, but sometimes things get a little funky, so we will be posting, and we hope to see you with us live. But if not, feel free to hit the playlist of the Thai Jams and check out some of our old ones.
I had the mic. Be loud.
Oh,
yeah. I should-
hello. You couldn't see it?
No, I don't know, but
Oh. Well, yes, guys. So yeah, feel
So
free, give us some any suggestions you have, and stay tuned. Give us any comments. We'll be here. Thank you so much for being here with us.
thanks, guys. Take care.